everyone. Thank you for joining us today in Real Estate Talk Today. My name is Jeff Infante. Here I have my partner, Josh DeBassard and Jenny Clemens. And today we're going to talk about something a little different. We wanted to touch base on the market. We know the market has shifted a little bit, and we wanted to elaborate a little bit of that. So let's go back a little bit, right? We know that when the pandemic was going on, there's been a little shift in the perspective on people's mindset, right? So they realize that now they can work from home, right?
Yes.
And now they said, wait a minute, either my space is too small or too big, right? One or the other. So what we have noticed is that we had a lot of outside buyers coming into the lot of Rhode Island market, right? You want to elaborate a little bit on that?
Yes, definitely. So we have people coming from all over the country. We have people come from the West Coast, California, people coming from New York, New Jersey, Connecticut, from places from all kinds of like far, if you will.
Right.
And the prices over there, as we all know, are crazy, insane. I mean, California alone, you can get a house with a 60-year mortgage. That's insane, you know? So what I've seen and what I've heard from my own clients, I'm not sure if you guys experience the same thing, but is they're like, Josh, I can work from home now and still keep my same job, my benefits and all that. Why do I have to stay in California?
Right.
I can move back closer to family in Rhode Island and keep my same job and benefits and work from home. I'm gonna do it. And so that's what I've been seeing that's been affecting the market.
And they're able to come over here, buy for a lot cheaper, and get much more
house.
Footage, right?
yeah,
Right.
than over there.
Right.
So yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
So they basically, you know, the price per square foot is a lot cheaper in Rhode Island than out there.
Definitely.
Yeah.
So now they come here, right? They got an office space now. They have a yard, probably a swimming pool now, right?
Yeah.
So they have more living space for either the same amount that they're paying or less.
Right.
Most likely less.
Which is no-brainer. So I wanted to share this because I thought this was very important, right? So it says here that in 2020, right, this says that there were 558 properties that were bought from out-of-staters, meaning, you know, people in California, Connecticut, Florida, New Jersey, et cetera, right? So 558 properties were bought out of 673. That's how
Wow.
low the inventory was back in 2020.
Right.
And then,
That sounds more than 90%.
dude, that's
I'm
a
not a
lot.
mathematician, you know?
It's a lot. It's a lot. Yeah. So having that little inventory and then, you know, the Rhode Island market, the individuals that were looking to purchase home, you know, they were kind of swept out of the competition because these people came in like, let's just do it, no question asked, where do I sign? And not only that, they brought cash too with them. So there were a lot of cash buyers from out of states that came in and just bought out.
Right.
You know, so that's important to understand that because then we're going to put that into perspective. And then it says here in 2021, that went up to 918 and then increased to 1,136
Wow.
buyers represented from out of state. So then there's sort of that mentality, right, that we need to talk about a little bit, right? So we have served clients, right, in the Rhode Island, Massachusetts area, right? So, and I'm focusing more on Rhode Island because that was like a hot token, like it was there, right? So we had clients that lived in Rhode Island all their lives or whatever the case is, right? And now they're looking to purchase a home either for the first time. And now they got these lions coming in, right?
Yes.
Right? From the woods, just coming in, tackling everything, right? And just hunting down these properties. While the Rhode Islander buyers are saying, well, it needs too much work.
Right.
This needs to be done. While the other guy's like, where do I sign?
Right. Why do you think that is?
Well, there's numerous reasons. I mean, you look at a property, right? Let's say multifamilies, right? Because that was the hot token, right? Let's say a multi-unit property, right? In Rhode Island, 300,000, right? They go back to their home state. It's 700,000.
Right.
Right? So now they come here and now they look at that property. It needs work, but it's half the price from where they're at.
Right.
And like you said, it's their mentality.
Right.
They're already looking at the discount.
Right.
They're looking at it like, this is a discount deal.
Right, exactly,
You know?
exactly. While the Rhode Islander now is saying, well, this is not much of a discount. It needs work. You know, I want to offer less.
Yeah.
Yes.
While these buyers are either doing over asking, right? And that's what we saw in this market, right? So I wanted to switch the perspective now, right?
Yes.
So let's say that that's what I'm saying, the mindset is everything. The way you look at things is everything, right?
Agree.
Because now you have that same Rhode Islander, right? Let's say that these houses were skyrocket. Let's say a multifamily was $600,000 here, right?
Yeah.
Which is not yet there yet. So let's say it was $700,000 for multifamily here in Rhode Island, right? Now that same buyer, now it's too expensive. They go to Florida, Connecticut, you know, New York, right?
Yep.
Let's say they half the price over there now.
Now they're going to take advantage.
Now they're gonna see the difference on how they are seeing our market here in Rhode Island.
Right.
Yep.
So while they may be like, oh, it's
locals
it's
over
low, the locals over there might say, oh, well, it needs work.
Right.
While here they're like, I want it. Where
Right.
do I sign? Let's
Right.
take it, right? Because of the situation, right? So I think that, you know, and this is why we do this show, because we try to educate in all different aspects, in all different angles, because you don't look at a situation one way. You have to look at it in different angles
Right.
and get different perspective so that you can make a sound judgment
I
on
agree.
what you're looking to do in your investment, right?
Right.
And that's key. So I say now that, you know, the people who are listening to this now, when they're gonna go purchase a property, I say, look at it in different perspective. Study the markets that are outside of you, right? And see what's going on the outskirts, and then bring it in and make your determination whether it's a good investment or not, right?
Right.
The other thing that we got to talk about is also the rental market. It's unbelievable. It's so high right now. So I mean, I wouldn't say it's because it keeps going up,
Right.
and is only going to continue to go up.
Right.
You know, I mean, and those that are listening, when have you experienced the rental market going down?
No.
Never.
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 Rental
And I don't think that's ever going to happen.
So if you're waiting for that, don't wait too long, right? Don't wait too long. So we got to be very conscious of that, because now, okay, the properties are a little higher,
Right.
but the rentals are also higher too.
Right.
So it kind of balances out.
Yep.
Well, I'm a numbers guy. So, and I always say this to my clients is if the numbers make sense, move forward. If you're in a position where you can rent it out, live for free, and also pocket some more after you even pay off your water and sewer bill, why not?
Right.
Because as you were saying, the rental income isn't going to go down. It's not going to change.
Right.
The value of the home, we know, can go up and down at any given time. But the rental prices don't change at all.
Right.
Right.
So I just had a situation 2 days ago in a multi-property that I'm selling, and we were doing the smoke inspection, and the lady in the second floor has lived there for 6 years in the property. She pays. Her rent was increased last year to $100. She was paying $900. She's paying $1,000 now, and the apartment is like immaculate. Like it's super clean, comfortable, a good location, right? All that good stuff. She's comfortable, right? She was asked to leave, so she said, "I need to talk to you," and I said, "What's going on?" She's like, "Do you have a property for rent out there?" I said, "No, I don't. I don't deal with rentals like that, right? I mean, if I come across a client that may have a property, maybe I'll reach out to some people, whatever the case is. But I said, that's not my focus." She says, "Well, I need to move, and I can't find anything out there right now." And what she said is the properties that I went to see, they're not in great shape, and they're asking for more money than what I'm paying.
Yeah.
She said they're asking for $1,300. She said one she saw for $2,400.
Wow.
Yeah, an apartment for $2,400. And she's like, "What's going on?" I'm like, "Hey, it's just the way it is. It's just the way our world works, right? The supply and demand, the economy changes, everything changes. We just have to be prepared, right?
Yep.
To take it to the next level." And that's what I want to focus on, is being prepared for the unexpected. And I think those people who are listening right now, maybe you experienced this before or maybe not, or if you're a renter, you're probably going to experience this. Sooner or later, they're going to experience it, is that you have to shift your mindset, right? And start looking at ways that I think they should get prepared, either credit-wise, income-wise, to be able to purchase a home. You guys want to elaborate a little bit on that too, so before I go to the
Well,
next?
I think it's important to bring up the story with your experience with the client that you had, if you allow me. You had a buyer that before she was a buyer, you were representing the seller, selling the home, I believe, and then one of the tenants was talking about how she was comfortable at her $700 a month, which is low. We all know it's very low, you know?
Yeah.
And that usually happens. The first thing when I hear numbers like that, I think the landlord's been owning it for years. He doesn't have a mortgage, and that's why it's that low.
Yep.
And that's just me assuming.
Right.
But so she was in a position, he or she, I don't remember, but they were in the property for about 10 years, you said?
15 years.
15 years,
Wow.
you know?
15
So
years.
where you're right now thinking I'm comfortable at that price, why should I own? Because most likely my mortgage is going to be higher. Now I'm a numbers guy, so I'm thinking you've invested 15 years into someone else's mortgage,
Right.
someone else's income wealth building. So now after this 15 years, the landlord wants to sell their home, and you have nothing to show for those 15 years that you've invested that money. That $700 a month,
Yep.
times that by 12, and then times that number by 15 years. Come on.
And I had to, I had to give him a reality check. I said, once that seller sells, that rent is gonna go up,
Right.
Because the new buyer is gonna buy obviously at the
A higher price.
higher price,
It
right?
has to
So
keep up.
they have to pay their mortgage,
Right.
And the first thing that we do when we own a house is, well,
Right.
I gotta pay mortgage. I gotta make sure I increase my rent.
Right.
So, like you said, the 15 years that he been paying down the drain,
Right.
he don't
I
have
know.
nothing to show
Right.
for.
So I was doing numbers, right? So I bought my first house when I was 21 years old, right? And I did the numbers, right? So 20 years later, not to age myself, guys.
Don't do the math, he says.
so 20 years later, right? I just use simple numbers, $900, right? Let's say, assuming I paid $900 a month on rent, right?
For 20 years.
years, right? And the rent didn't increase. I did the math. It was $435,000 approximately.
Wow.
$435,000 I just would have flushed down the toilet,
Yep.
basically. That's a lot of money.
And that's what a lot of people are doing.
Right. So what we're trying to tell you guys is to have a shift in the mindset, right? Have a different perspective. Put those numbers, write them down, and analyze it yourself, right?
Right.
Yeah.
And they should do this because, we survive, and our quality of life depends on the income, right?
Right.
And the money that we make.
Your
So,
assets.
right. So financial, the financial part of the life is important, right? It has to be considered because if you're not making money, then you're basically stuck, right? In a sense,
Right. Right. If I can add to this as well, you figure your average mortgage here is 30 years, right? And if you took 15 of those years and you've been paying your own mortgage, now you have this asset where if you needed extra money, you can refinance and pull money out of it. Or let's say you finish paying the whole thing off 30 years from now, right? You have something that you can actually sell off when you go to downsize or maybe go
Exactly.
to warmer climate in a different state or even country.
Yeah.
And now you have some money in your pocket.
Right.
Right.
Whereas if the latter was you were renting.
Right.
You can't do that.
can't do that.
You can't do that. There's no way.
No.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. The landlord will say, "Hey, you've been such a good tenant for 15 years. Here's a check for $10,000."
Right.
No way.
No,
way.
it's not gonna happen. It's not gonna happen. So the only thing he's gonna say is, "Hey, I need you to move out."
Yes.
So.
And take everything in the basement too.
Yeah, right. And by the way, thank you for your contribution for the last 15 years. To me, that's
Yeah,
right.
yeah.
So, but jokes aside, guys, I think it's something that we want to bring to light because I think it's sort of like one of those things that's just been like in the hush, like, you know what I mean?
Right.
But it's really no big secret. It's just what it is. It's the facts, right? And again, I want to strongly emphasize is that this is why we're doing what we're doing here in this show is that to bring information out to those who are listening, the public and the consumer that is out there, so that they can be self-educated and also understand different things in perspective and apply it to their lives and their family. Because at the end of the day, if you don't know, you don't know,
Yeah.
right? But once you know, what you do with that knowledge is what's going to determine the outcome.
Right.
And that's the key right there, right? So, I don't know if you guys want to add anything else.
Just ways they can reach out to us, if you could.
Yes.
You want to let them know?
Okay, well, make sure you subscribe in our
Yes,
YouTube channel.
yes,
First,
absolutely.
Make sure if you have any question, you could put a comment below.
Right.
Yeah, yeah.
Or you could come to our office. We are located on 297 Pocasset Avenue in Providence, Rhode Island, and Silver Lake.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yep. And we also have a Seekonk office as well that we have, so which is right on Taunton Avenue.
Yes.
235 Taunton Avenue in Seekonk. So, well, guys, thank you very much for listening, and we'll keep you guys more informed in the next episodes to come. Thank you, guys. Real Estate Talk today. Thank you.